What's up, everybody? It's once again Luke and Brienne. Quinn Hewitt Thornton. I'm sorry. I do it every time. That's the way it's got to be. You know what's up. Anyways, we are here. Noble Photo LLC podcast is finally back. We're excited. Holy cow. We feel about 94%.
94.5.
94.5. That's an odd number, though. 94.6.
How about 97?
Oh.
And 3/4.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Anyways, we are back. We're proud to be back. We're so excited to be doing this podcast once again. We're a little afraid because it's been a while. It's been a while since we've done a podcast.
Curious, does anybody else just randomly break into song when they're talking? Because we do it all the time.
We really do.
All the time.
And we must confess, we've been
loneliness.
Well, yeah, that's cool too. But we've been watching a lot of one particular movie.
Oh, my Hugh
Jackman and The Greatest Showman.
This is the greatest show.
Oh man, that's so good. That is honestly one of my favorite movies I've ever watched in my life.
Oh, it's such a good soundtrack too.
It makes you feel good, makes you feel pumped, makes you feel positive.
Powerful.
We like to feel powerful and positive, correct? We've got some new lighting here. We've got two lights that are at maybe like a 45-degree angle, and they're up top right there. So, I think the lighting looks good. Whatever, who cares? Okay, so what are we doing today?
Well, I don't know about you, but I've got some super cash, and I am trying to spend it because I only have 5 hours and 46 minutes to spend it.
Brianna has 5 hours and 5 hours and what?
46 minutes and 12 seconds.
To spend some money with was it Old Navy?
I've got my Old Navy super cash, and I never remember to spend it. But anyway, no, tonight. Okay, so last week, you guys may have noticed that we did not do a podcast.
We did not.
As promised.
Yes, we did not.
It was a rough week, and Noble actually ended up being sick, and we traumatized the poor dear by taking him to the clinic. And
yes, we did. It was always a bad Sunday.
Oh goodness, that kid. I've never seen any child so... I wouldn't even say he was terrified. He was just mad.
Yeah, we walked into
He was mad that we were there.
We walked into the clinic, and there's about 50 people ahead of us. They all had the flu. They all had those masks on. And I was very upset. I wasn't happy.
Washing those hands.
I was not happy. But, we got...
Yeah, you weren't happy. Noble wasn't happy. He actually tore into my face.
Yeah, you're finally recovering from that.
Yes.
Took you about a week, Hugh Jackman.
But anyway, yeah,
quick
he went all Wolverine on my face.
Yeah, but I was talking that your face didn't heal like his healing factor.
I know.
It would have healed like that.
Bummer.
But it didn't. But anyways.
Can't all be Hugh Jackman, right?
So today we're actually going to be answering the questions that you guys sent to us. We have actually 5 questions that was sent in, and, wow, that I guess people really listen. You know what? Let me tell you something real fast. I went to the parts house or AutoZone or whatever it was here in Chapel Hill. Here in
where are we?
We're in Ardmore.
Where do we live?
Ardmore, Tennessee. Ardmore the other day, and the guy behind the counter said, "I watch your podcast."
We're famous.
I was like, "What?"
We are famous. We are Ardmore famous, which is not saying a lot.
I was like, "Man, your life must be really boring. Watch our podcast, whatever, man."
We're awesome.
We're awesome. Oh, and also pay attention to Brand's new chair. We got our new chair today from Staples. And she likes it. She's going to be sitting in that one because she's been sitting in a piece of junk that I literally hate, and I felt bad as a husband giving her that. We keep rambling. Let's answer some questions.
Yeah.
But before we answer questions, we can talk about next week what we're going to do, or do you do these questions and then what do you want to do?
I think, guys, there's some incentive, some monetary incentive. If you
wait.
Stick with us, okay?
Stick to the end of the podcast.
Stick with us, and we may have a contest.
Yes. Huge
and everybody,
contest.
This is the point where everybody just hits fast forward to see what it is.
All the way through it. So go to point, blah, 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 whatever. No, that's cool. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to answer some questions that were sent in to us, and we'll just kind of go from there, you guys.
Absolutely. And number 1, do we have Noble freaking out? I think we're good.
Think we're good?
The devil is asleep.
He's not.
He's a sweet angel. I love him so much. Okay, sorry about that. I'm not sorry. Sorry is an overused word.
Questions.
Question. What is the question number 1? Ask it to me, and I'll try to answer it. And if I don't know it, you answer it.
Okay. So, question number 1. What do you do to deal with difficult brides?
Ooh, I'm going to bypass that question to you, Brienne.
Okay. So, I would just like to state here that we haven't really had super difficult brides. And I think what you have to bear in mind is someone that's been a bride, people kind of broadly use that term bridezilla.
Yeah, they
do. Because
do.
They don't really understand the tension and the stress that a bride goes through. Mm-hmm. You read about these horror stories online about brides and their ridiculous requests. And, I'm not saying that there aren't people out there that have some ridiculous requests, but you guys have to bear in mind, and you guys, you really have to have a sense of, like, empathy with these women. They want their day to be perfect. This is the one day that they get to look and feel like a princess. All eyes are on them. Mm-hmm. So you really have to kind of approach that with,
kid gloves.
Kid gloves, yeah.
What does kid gloves mean? What does that mean?
Oh, come on now. We'll look that up.
Yeah, we'll look it up later.
So you just have to think about where they are. Be patient, be kind, on the back end. So dealing with brides that, want, lots of edits mm-hmm. or are super particular about their pictures, we try to meet them in the middle, somewhere where, we know the work is good, making sure that their expectations are kind of in line with ours. So to deal with a difficult bride, I guess I would have to know under what circumstances is she being difficult? Is it, day of? Is it leading up to? Is it afterwards? You really just have to put yourself in their place and see kind of where they're coming from. If they're gonna, spend all this money on a wedding, they want it to be what they want it to be. And so you just have to kind of think about that yourself. We shoot 30 plus weddings a year, and every wedding's different. Mm-hmm. Every bride has a different expectation of what she likes, and every bride has her little quirky things that she wants the way she wants it, and she couldn't care less about the rest of it.
Every human is different.
I was the same way. Mm-hmm. Didn't care about what food was served, didn't care about what music was played. I had the things that I wanted the way I wanted it, and, anybody else could have it the way they wanted it. So
yeah, you better believe it. And everybody's different. My answer on that, okay, is pretty simple. I pass it over to Brienne, and she handles these brides because I'm a dude, and I don't know what it's like to be a bride. Safe answer, mm-hmm. right? I'm like a politician. You should vote for Luke.
You just got to be patient. You guys got to be patient. You got to be understanding.
Yeah, just have some empathy. I think that's the key. Have empathy.
That's what I said.
And know that it's her day, mm-hmm. and rock and roll. First question is answered. Yes.
And just know too. Here's one thing to think about.
Here, Noble.
We've known a lot of brides that have gotten stressed out by other people at their weddings.
Yeah.
We actually have an unwritten clause in our contracts where we kind of provide security services for our brides. That way, if for any reason during that day someone is bothering them, kind of making them uncomfortable, we are able to kind of, as photographers, be like, hey, why don't we go over here and get some special shots of just you, nobody else. Mm-hmm. And so it kind of removes the bride from the situation, kind of gives her an opportunity to breathe a little bit and get away from that. So
that's very true. That's very true. And we won't say exactly what we've done before, but we do wear our Secret Service earphones, walkie-talkies in our ears, and if we see something unfolding, I'll say, Brienne, code red. And I'm just lying. No, we'll work hard to make it happen, though. It's good.
No, so difficult brides, just exercise some empathy, some patience, and
absolutely.
Best you can do is if you're providing photography services, just try to work with them. Try to see it from their vantage point.
Yeah.
If they are, if they're getting too ridiculous in their requests, then there's there's a different approach to that. You just got to be firm and, like, hey, this is what we've provided you. This is what we've got.
And with doing this more and more and more, you're going to learn how to treat these people, how to take care of these people.
So, okay. Next question. You want to read it?
Yeah, I'll read it. What is the easiest way to approach the whole price negotiation scenario?
Negotiations.
Okay, so I'm the kind of person that totally believes in negotiation. I'll go to a grocery store, and if I don't like the price on something, I'm going to be like, hey, listen, can we do better here? Because this our kids playing harmonica. It's crazy.
You might serenade us upstairs here in a moment.
I'll negotiate. I'm not beyond negotiating. There are some brides that, weddings only last, 4 hours and they want to do elopements. Mm-hmm. So we have an elopement package. There's some brides that want us all day. Now, we're typically there from, 6 to 8 hours. He's really tearing that thing up, man. Pretty good job. But the bottom line, nobody's beyond negotiating. And if you are beyond negotiating, you're not thinking humanistically,
It's okay.
Killing it. Basically,
with the price negotiation scenario, we do have our prices listed on our website. We try to be pretty upfront about what we charge. And then if someone approaches us and asks us if we can, kind of work with them, it's at our discretion. And, we don't say that, hatefully. We just have to kind of process the situation at hand. Never sell yourself short.
No, don't do that.
Make sure that, you are providing a service, it's your equipment, it's your time, and, there's people out there that's always going to do it cheaper. Yeah. But, if they're approaching you, obviously they've seen your product, they like your product, so they want you.
Yeah, of course they want you.
So I see that. Thank you.
Hey, man, you did a good job on that harmonica.
Good job.
Good job. I'm really impressed.
Y'all, that is, I believe that's Lucas's harmonica from when he was a little boy.
Back when I was a youngster.
Mm-hmm. Good job, Noble.
Good job, man.
So.
Mommy, try it.
Oh, I can't. I am on the.
No, you should totally do it one time for Mom. Do it one time.
No, I'm good.
I believe our viewers want it just one time. Just blow it one time.
I'm good.
Hey, Noble, will you go downstairs and relax, or you can stay up here? But we're trying to do this podcast, so could you be a little bit more quieter? I'll do it. Yes, sir. I'll do it. Now go downstairs, okay? Please.
We're just hanging out.
We're just
do whatever.
Out. Okay, cool. I don't care.
So don't sell yourself short. Make sure that you know what product you're getting. In terms of negotiation,
I'll take you downstairs.
I would say that it would need to be, are they asking you to be there for the same amount of time for a cheaper price? Or are they saying, hey, can you give me, a 4 hours versus the 8 for, this much? And so we do try to accommodate, most of our clientele, but you have to bear in mind that, if you've got a bride or a groom that only wants you for 2 hours, and you have the potential to take on a full day wedding, and you're blocking out your time. So that's something that you have to weigh. There have been times when, we've had somebody want an elopement package and we're like, yeah, that's fine. We can have, a good portion of our weekend back. So that is totally on you as the business owner, as the artist, as whatever you want to consider it. So just look at your books and see what you can afford to do and what you can afford not to do. You can't afford not to do. So it was a double negative. So my apologies. Waiting on Luke to get back.
Ooh-wee.
All right. I think we've gotten a pretty good bit on that.
Yeah,
so.
I just want to say one more thing about it. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Is that still recording? Yes. Okay, cool. Sorry. About your price. Okay. Everybody has a price. Mm-hmm. Everybody does. If you're approached by a bride or a groom, and one of the first things you hear is how much, that's a very quick understanding that it's not that they don't care about their wedding. It means that they're budgeting and that they want to know what the bottom line is. The bottom line is what the price is. It doesn't mean negatively and it doesn't mean positively. It's just an objective, I want to know. Now, all of us photographers have been guilty of rolling our eyes. The first thing you see is, like, how much would this be? And it's like, because you kind of feel, like slighted. Like, what can I get you for?
And I feel like it's something that happens more openly with artists.
That's very true.
Than it does, with people in, other professions. Now Luke will wheel and deal anywhere.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He wheels and deals at the dentist.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, it's, you've just got people out there that, and you've got people out there that want to know that they're getting a deal.
Yeah.
We were in an antique store once, and Luke wanted, he just wanted a $5 discount because he just wanted to feel like he was getting a deal.
And they gave it to me.
And she said, you know what? That's fine. I don't even care.
But as a photographer and as somebody who is wanting to get into this.
Right.
If you have prices on your website specifically showing what this amount of time cost and what this is, and it's clear and it's concise, and somebody has been to your website and they're still trying to talk you down, I personally get a little offended because it's saying I'm not prepared to pay you what you have your price set as. Mm-hmm. It's not cool to haggle somebody who has a set price. Now, if you don't have a price and they don't know, then they can negotiate.
Right. And too, there's some areas where we work with people. A lot of our clientele, we have to travel to go see. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes, like if they're looking to get a deal, we're like, you know what? If you're willing to come to us, we'll knock off this much because we're not traveling. We're not having to, we're not having to spend our time on the road to go travel and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And this is more for like engagement shoots or family shoots, things of that nature.
We quoted on Instagram this morning a wedding in Virginia. Mm-hmm. That's a 5.5 hour drive from where we live. We had to calculate exactly what it would be, and then we sent the quote in. It was fine because we have to, calculate the travel. And if we don't, we're going to lose everything. It's like doing it for nothing.
Right.
So, while you have a set price, then this is what this is. So I think we've covered this enough.
More than enough.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. How did you grow your business? Has there been a time that made you panic? And what are you doing to keep learning and growing? That is an excellent question.
Yeah,
that is such a good question.
The TV
just randomly came on.
That's
wow.
Cool. That's cool.
It's a pretty picture too.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So what did we, okay, so this is kind of like a 3-part question. So I'm just going to kind of cut it apart here. So what did you do to grow your business? Well, first of all, just like everybody, we started small.
Extremely small.
We did a lot of free work.
Yep.
Put our names out there. Luke, I think he established himself a little bit on what's that little app thing called?
Thumbtack.
Yeah. So did some work on there when it was first kind of getting established too, and so we got a lot of work off there.
It was in its infancy.
Yeah.
And we took advantage of it. It was great.
And then
now it's not.
To grow the business, advertise. We advertised online.
Yes, we did.
People would ask us, hey, do you want to advertise in our yearbook? Do you want to do this? And we invested. We invested a little bit of money in that. We put targeted ads on Facebook, shared our work, did drawings to get likes somewhat on our Facebook.
You go in the hole every day. Every day.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the way it is.
But here's the thing, we have other jobs. We have other jobs that enabled us to kind of invest into this business. So, we worked a lot of hours. We still work a lot of hours.
We do a whole lot
between all of among all of the jobs, I would say. So, has there ever been a time that made you panic? Panicking, and I'm not sure what the person that was asking this means. If it was, I think because it's in context of growing the business and what we're doing to keep learning and growing, I'm going to guess that she means in terms of in growth. And yeah, there were some days, and let me tell you, every year Luke would get freaked out, and he still does. Yeah. He'll freak out because we don't have a lot of weddings booked. And I have to remind him that, there's a lull period where...
Like the worst time of the year. Like in December or early
January.
And
so, it's like I have to remind him, you've got holidays coming up. You've got Christmas and New Year's and Valentine's Day. You've got all these people that are going to be planning these fall weddings that aren't even going to start looking until like March or April. Mm-hmm. And but yeah, he usually, for 2 solid years, and I think this year you actually... didn't panic as much because I'm just like, remember what I told you. But yeah, he would panic a little bit. Of course, I was just like, yeah.
We've been very fortunate to get the work that we've got, and
we are.
We don't take any of it for granted.
Hi, sweetheart. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Are you leaving home?
Oh, he looks like one of those little. What were they? Hobo? Is that what they're called? Hobos, like that walk down the railroad tracks with their little pack on a stick.
Yeah, he's got his Superman shirt on, this little 10-cent comic shirt on.
And
Crazy.
I promise you guys, we put pants on him every day, and as soon as we get through the door, like not even 2 steps into the door, he's sitting down, pulling his shoes off, his socks off, then goes the pants. We've negotiated him wearing underwear in the pull-up, but that did not come without its without its fights. So welcome to parenthood and toddlerhood. It's grand.
It's the greatest thing ever. We don't hate it. We just really love it.
So I would say that's the only time that we've ever really panicked in the growth of our business, just not feeling like we're doing enough and whatnot, and it usually works itself out. So
yeah, you'll always find a way out. We're very spiritual people, and we believe that if something is honest and moral and it has a good moral code to it, I think that's from God and it's placed in your heart, and God doesn't put the desires of your heart not to be fulfilled. And that's the way that I feel. And you can pray, too. We pray quite a bit. Noble, could you please go downstairs?
He's fine.
You're great, but oh my goodness, sometimes.
He's all right.
It's hard being a daddy.
Okay, so what are we doing to keep learning and growing? Honestly, we do exactly what we're doing right here. Mm-hmm. We watch podcasts. We look at other photographers that we kind of admire. Tony and Chelsea Northrup, we like them a lot.
Love them so much. They've been
Frono's Photos.
Yeah, FronosPhoto.com. And this is Jared Poland, blah, blah, blah.
Who else? There's another guy. You drink his coffee.
Peter McKinnon.
Peter McKinnon.
Yeah, Peter McKinnon is the...
what happened to your dad?
Well, I just laid it down.
Yeah, you can take that with you.
You take it downstairs to your bedroom and you can play with it.
You're okay. Or you could just sit there and play with it. That's fine, too.
No, we really love Peter McKinnon because Peter McKinnon is just... How do I describe him? He's just very positive. He's fun to watch. I'm sure he's negative sometimes, but his YouTube channel has skyrocketed. In his first year of being on YouTube, he got 1 million followers, and now he's right at almost 3 million. So he's very successful. Does a lot of tutorials. I highly recommend him. Check him out. And shoots Canon. We shoot Canon, so it's interesting to see somebody. Canon.
And that's that'll segue into our next question. But that's another thing. We switch things up. We're constantly getting new equipment, learning new things, new techniques, new ways of shooting. Luke, are you having struggles right now?
No, it's cool.
So, there's newer things that we have to do to, just keep up. We do our, I should say Luke does, because I do all kinds of other things that takes up my time. But, sometimes we'll get some images from clients that are like, hey, can you recreate this image? And we'll have to do a quick tutorial to figure out how we're going to get it,
You just get on YouTube. I mean, honest to goodness, YouTube is is how we taught ourselves. We didn't go to photography school. We got the cameras that we needed to be able to do what we needed to do. We got on YouTube. We Googled it. We figured it out. I mean, in the age of information, if you are not getting online to find it, then it's a sad day. You need to be getting online because, I hate the idea of gloating and saying, look what I've done, look what all this, because that's not us.
Careful, buddy.
I will say this, though. We have come a long way from barely even knowing anything, but to where we're at now because of YouTube, people on there showing us what we're doing, taking some courses, doing some tutorials, and here we are today.
Yeah. And, we stretch our limits, we go outside of our comfort zone.
Oh, certainly.
Trying new things. We try not to say no to a lot of new things, just because, we want to learn.
We want to learn new things. And
we talk to other photographers.
We do. And in the photography community, there's a vast growing amount of people who are starting to shed that negative, I know more than you, I'm more important than you, I got more going on than you, so leave me alone, arrogance. And it's starting to turn into a community that embraces each other. They come together and say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Could you help me? Yeah, would love to.
And that's something that we want to put out there too. If you have a question, if you're unsure about something, never hesitate to ask. We're at weddings and we see people, there's been a couple times where I've grabbed people's phones who are trying to take pictures, and I'm like, hey, let me show you how you can get a better shot with this. I shouldn't say grab, I ask. Would you like me to show you how you can get a better shot?
Yeah.
And I'll flip it over into pro mode, kind of show them some adjustments.
Shutter
and they're
speed,
just like,
ISO,
they're like, hey, I never knew my phone could do this. This is awesome.
It's a great feeling.
And I think that excites people. So,
yeah, it does, and it's fun to know how a camera works and how to get the shots you need, because a lot of people just throw it in auto.
Yeah.
But like one wedding, was it Lexi and Will? That wedding, there was a lady standing there. It's so funny. I hadn't told you about this. There's a lady standing there with a T3i camera, and she was like, I can't get this to do something or another. And I said, hey, can I show you? And I had that 1DX Mark II, that humongous thing. And, she had that T3i camera. It's a small, very nice camera to start off with, which just segues into the next couple questions, but we'll get there. I put one of our L lenses on that camera, and I started shooting with it, and she turned white. She was just like, because it was important. Glass is important, and we'll get into that. But it was cool to help somebody know that you have a great camera. But
look at what it can do.
Yeah, if you invest into the glass, holy cow! And we'll get into that. But yeah.
Yeah. And I think that segues perfectly into our next question.
Hey.
Do you want to read that one?
Yeah, I want to get into photography. What kind of camera should I shoot with, and what should I shoot?
Bum, bum, bum.
What was that? What was that?
Him throwing stuff at the wall.
Don't break that, Noble. Our grandparents gave that to us. That's expensive. That's not expensive, but it's a. I think Granny and Gran gave me that.
That's a sentimental piece.
Yeah,
hey, Noble, let's not break that. Okay.
Yeah, don't touch it again.
Don't hit. Hey.
Yeah, he's being ugly. We might have to turn the podcast off and take care of that self.
Oh, somebody needs a timeout.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That's a really good question, and it's one that I think a lot of photographers get. The unfortunate thing is we don't have the best answer for you, because the kind of camera you shoot with really just depends on what you want to shoot, what you want to invest.
Noble. Quit being so loud, okay?
And
Stop.
And really, it just kind of depends on how you want to approach photography. So the camera itself only matters a little. We switched our camera game last year. Or was
Yeah.
it this past year.
Yeah, we were shooting Nikon, and we said, hey, the glass off of Canon, I believe, is a little bit better, and did some research on it, and here we were shooting shooting Canon, and I really believe our business really took off because of Canon and shooting the low depth of field lenses.
Which Nikon's a great camera too.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Nikon.
Yeah, and we've I think our one of our second shooters, he shoots with a Sony.
Yeah, Sony A7 R3.
So the important thing is to do your research. Starting out, I see nothing wrong with doing a crop sensor camera. If you're looking to do a lot of editing, you're going to want to go with the full frame.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to get him out here.
Actually, I tell you what, Lucas, you have a lot more to say on this. So I'm going to be the one to step away for a moment, and I'm going to let Luke talk about that a little bit, and then I will be right back.
Cool. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Noble was being fussy, so we had to take care of that. So he's got mommy's phone now, and it's at like 10% battery.
Tracing letters.
He'll tear the rest of it up. It's great. It's awesome.
Okay, so back to what kind of camera should I shoot?
Okay, so it's very simple. You need to know what you're getting into. You need to know what you want to shoot. Typically, when it comes to photography, you're going to start off with a lower end camera, which means like a crop sensor camera. If you're going to shoot Nikon, you're going to shoot like a D30-100 series, D30-200 series, D30-300 series. There's the 5000 series from Nikon. I said Nikon, right? Okay, and with Canon, there's the T series, the T3i, I think it's the T4i, T6i, T7i, all the way up to the 80D, and then this is a lot of information, I'm sorry, but the 80D crosses over, 80D crosses over into the 6D and the 6D Mark II, which is the full frame game. Now, if you were to ask me, Luke, I'm going to get into wedding photography, what should I shoot with? I'm going to be very clear and very honest with you. I'm going to tell you to get a full frame camera, which is a 35 millimeter sensor, which is the equivalent of a 35 millimeter roll of film. It's the certain size. It's been around for the last 100 years, and it's a tried and true method. And back in the day, I'm sure they had smaller films and things of that nature, but there's just something about full frame. Personally, for me, I feel like it's just better. Now, shooting a full frame camera, you're gonna run into a lot of money. You're gonna, your lowest end, I believe, right now, full frame camera is a mirrorless camera by Sony. Is the A7 III, and you're gonna pay $2,000 for the body alone, and you're not gonna get a lens. And you're going to need to buy a lens, and probably you're going to spend anywhere from $500 to $3,000 on the lens. So you're looking at starting off with, it's probably too much. Yeah, I'm going to ramble.
Synthesize.
Synthesize. If you're planning on getting into the big series of things and stuff, you're going to want to go with full frame, and you want to make that investment because it's a big investment. But if you're just going to shoot your kids and have some fun and everything, just get a crop sensor, $600-$800 camera with a kit lens and rock and roll. And if you feel like you want to do some more growing and stuff, then buy a camera. But there's two forms. My phone's buzzing. There's two forms of cameras out there. You have your DSLRs, which means digital. Sorry, I'm going to ramble. It's the digital single lens reflex, which means there's a mirror in the camera that flips. So you're getting a consistent view of what you're seeing through the lens on a mirror flipped up, turned around into your viewfinder. And then you have your mirrorless cameras, which means they're not DSLRs. They have a mirror. They're mirrorless, and you have your sensor in the front, and it works. It's a smaller form camera. You have to figure out what works for you. Bottom line, what works for you is what you should purchase. Mm-hmm. Don't let anybody tell you what you should purchase. There's websites out there that'll show you, that'll educate you. You can also rent cameras, $100 for a camera, a couple days or something like that, from lensrentals.com or something like that. I think that I'm I've covered it pretty good, I guess.
So what should I shoot? Again, I hate that we can't give you guys like, black and white answers here.
Yeah, it's just not possible.
But, starting out, if you don't really know what your niche is, then shoot a lot of like everything.
Yeah.
You will find quickly what you're good at, what you like. To be brutally honest with our viewers, we are not baby photographers.
Mm-hmm.
We do them, we have them.
Ugh.
We have clients that have asked us to do babies, and we do, and we love those clients.
Yeah, and we take care of them.
But we don't always feel like that is that's our strength.
That's not what we're going after. We're going after wedding clients, engagement couples, and that's pretty much our bread and butter right there.
There's people out there that do sports photography.
Mm-hmm.
There's people out there that really enjoy doing like landscape photography.
Mm-hmm.
People that want to do the more artistic looks to things.
Yeah.
Others that just want to kind of focus on just their lifestyle stuff. So you're gonna when you're starting out and you haven't really clearly defined what you want to shoot, shoot a little bit of everything. Try your hand at everything. Shadow some folks, ask to go along.
Yeah.
We're always open to that as long as our clients are.
If you want to shadow, if you want to shadow with us, give us a give us a message. Say hey, and we would love to. I'm sure we could actually provide a camera or two. We have a couple that are just sitting around collecting dust. That we would love to, and we'll shoot together.
Okay. Last one. How do I make my business grow? So I feel like we touched on this a little bit in question 3, but my long and short of it is invest in it, and I'm not talking about necessarily monetarily. Yes, that's going to help, but you've got to invest your time, your effort. You may have to make a couple sacrifices here and there. When we were growing our business, we were able to tap into some resources with our families to assist us. Obviously, being a couple with a small child, we had to depend heavily on our family to kind of assist us in, babysitting Noble.
Absolutely.
We had to take Noble on some shoots with us, which isn't always fun, but people do get a big kick out of him.
Yeah.
Making your business grow, get your name out there. Like I said, starting out, we did a couple of pro bono things just to kind of get our portfolio built up. We're now kind of at that point where, even when we're building portfolios, we charge a little bit of something because it is our time.
Your time is worth something.
Yeah.
And if you have an established business and you want to do something for free, then do something for free. That's okay.
We do that every once in a while.
Yeah, it's fun.
We'll throw a line out there and allow somebody something free just because we're feeling gracious.
It's not a problem.
But yeah, to make your business grow, invest yourself more into it. And set aside like a certain amount of time out of each day to work on it, whether that's updating your portfolio, your website, putting content on Facebook or social media, getting out there and doing new things.
Be savvy.
Yeah. When we filed our taxes with the CPA the first year, she had told us, she said, every couple of years, she said, take a trip where you can actually do some photography in a different area to keep your portfolio, diverse.
Yeah.
She said you can count that as a business expense, and I thought, well, that's neat. It's
there's so many things you can count.
I mean, there's a lot that we learned in that as well.
Yeah, so true.
We do pay our taxes. We do work hard on that. So
we do. And just be forewarned, you get good at this game called photography, and you provide an excellent service, and you have great images. You will get work. I can promise you. Somebody's going to see it, and somebody's going to hire you. There's this misconception among so many photographers that you're not good enough, but you are. You're real good. And as you get better, you're going to see more work. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts.
Right.
But you're going to also have haters. You're going to have people that have voodoo dolls of you on the wall, and they're going to poke you in the eye, and they're going to be like, I hope he, It's terrible, but
I don't know what he's talking about. People love me.
Oh, absolutely. I'm pretty active on Facebook, posting things associated with photography. I'm extremely passionate about this. I enjoy it, and I want the world to know it. We had an engagement shoot was a Saturday, and I haven't done the sneak yet. I can't wait to do it. But several images that I got, they were just bell ringers. Like I jumped for joy, and they're like, "Man, I love your passion," and I'm like, "Yeah, I enjoy this. I enjoy this so much. I would almost do it for free, like Forrest Gump. No, he'll do it for free, but like Forrest Gump when he does the investment at Apple, I cut that yard for free." Remember that?
Because I was a gazillionaire.
Because I was a gazillionaire, and I was so good at it, I cut that grass for free. I did a pretty good job. Let's just do voiceovers.
There you go. But we're always open to
always
working with people that are trying to establish businesses.
Yes.
Giving them shout outs. If we believe in you, we'll send work your way. If we don't believe in you, we won't. No.
Well, if you're a good human and you have compassion and you love people and you're not full of yourself, then you should grow. But like arrogance is something that I've even struggled with a little bit myself. Because I'm human.
Yes.
And I could do a better photo than them. So it happens. You do that stuff, and
sour grapes is just a part of it.
Yeah,
it is.
And when it's ugly, nobody likes it. It's not pretty, But everybody wants to be successful, and when you're not, or you don't feel successful, it's a draining feeling.
It is, yeah.
And nobody is beyond it. Nobody. Are you already starting to buy stuff on Old Navy?
No.
What's the deal, man?
I was looking up something online.
Are you looking up something for us to talk about?
Not necessarily. It's just something I wanted to remember for later, so I typed it so I wouldn't forget.
You were awful. I love you, though.
I'm a woman. My mind's constantly going 100 miles a minute. So.
Yeah. Hey, it's okay. It's all good. But, bottom line, this podcast is for you. This podcast is for the people who want to know things. And if we don't know them, we're going to ask somebody and figure it out. This is a community. And if you want to join the community and you want to come out and let us know, we'll do something. We'll have you on the podcast. Mm-hmm. There's several photographers that share some interest. There's some venues.
Yeah. We need to get back on that.
Yeah,
we kind of got off track there just because we were struggling to coordinate with some folks. But
yeah, we'll get back on that, and we'll work hard to get that going again. It's just been crazy. And I'm not making excuses. I'm telling you like it is. It's been crazy.
It has. It's been insane.
Yeah.
But we're going to get back to all of that. We're going to get back on track with everything. And I think it's time to...
We're at the end of the podcast.
Yeah. So if you've stuck with us or you fast forwarded to this point, here's where you guys can gain.
Okay,
if you will drop...
Yes.
Some questions.
In our Noble Photo inbox.
In the inbox. I'm going to point down.
Yeah.
So right down here.
You'll figure it out, trust me.
Yeah. Is it, are we on YouTube? Am I pointing down?
We're going to have this on YouTube.
This is on a podcast, so maybe people can't see what I'm doing with my hands.
It'll be on Noble Photo, our Noble Photo Facebook page.
On the Facebook page. Well, if it's on the Facebook page, comment.
Yeah, you can actually ask questions on wherever questions sent, even on my personal account, I'll use these as well. I don't care. But we're going to do another question and answer session next week. And we may have a special guest. We possibly might have a special guest. That's a photographer.
That's not Noble?
That's not Noble, yeah. And we'll try to cut it a little bit earlier. But I'm really wanting to bring on board some photographers that are from the area that actually shoot weddings, and we may have somebody that does the same thing we do. We can see what they think and rock and roll that way. And maybe talk about our best and worst experiences, maybe. But yeah. You were still talking about the contest. What do you win?
What do you win?
What do you win?
It's a bag of chips.
Yeah, we have been notorious for giving away Amazon gift cards.
Because who doesn't love Amazon?
Amazon's great. Amazon's wonderful. So all the questions that we get, you're all going to get one entry per question. And we're going to give...
One entry per question or one entry per person?
One entry per person.
I think one entry per person.
One entry per person. I'm sorry. I'm just sleepy. But everybody that sends a question in will be in the drawing. And it's going to be for $100 Amazon gift card.
I got all kinds of questions.
And also a week with Noble.
Eat me now.
Welcome.
Vacation with Noble.
Down.
We're here for you.
Yeah.
Always.
So drop your questions.
Yep.
We will. Okay. Drop your
Okay.
questions, and then we will have a drawing next week.
Yep. And that's it. That's the podcast. We're gonna shut it down in 5, 4.
You guys shut ours.
Noble, say 3.
4.
No, 2. Count down.
3. 4.
Yeah. Okay. He's
He
smart.
counts up.
1
So,
and
2.
Done.
7. There's a
Do you wanna go?